People, welcome to another episode of Primal Sports. Next, all my people out there in Fit FM 96.7, our people out there in Trelawney, Facebook, YouTube, the World Wide Web, as what they would say. We're back, another Saturday Jump Pack show, and I'm here, Froggy, alongside
Kane the Shrub Watson, and as my co-host said, it's time for Primal Sports Center. I mean, we have an interesting lineup again. I mean, I keep saying that every week, but sports is always interesting. So it's not just a tagline, people. We live sports, we watch sports,
we breathe sports.
I mean,
we drink sports.
Sports is what we do. We play it, we watch it. I mean, that's our form of entertainment, and we bring it to you how we see it. And I mean, it's good to get your feedback as well. For this lineup, again, our next co-host is still in Barbados for the Caribbean Junior Championships. We're hoping to get through to him sometime or at some point in the show to give us our feedback on the championships. But if not this week, definitely next week, he'll be back in studio because I see a young under-15 Jamaican player, G. Marcus Smith, just lost the semi-finals 3-2 in the under-15 boys. And I'm keen to know what went on in that match. But next week, we'll have a full roundup because we have medals in the under-15 boys, under-15 girls, the under-19 boys represented well, under-19 girls. So overall, we just want to wish them all the best down there as the tournament is wrapping up, and I hope all the juniors learned a lot, got a lot of experience, and even so, some of the juniors will be going to the Caribbean seniors as well. So a lot to look forward to. So hopefully we can hear from him during the show. But if not, next week he'll give us a full breakdown of how Jamaica represented.
Most definitely.
The Caribbean Junior Championship. But moving right along, as last week we dissected the NBA playoffs, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. Defense. Later on, we'll break down Champions League because Champions League semifinals coming up in the midweek. Some teams are positioning themselves to go hard
for the champions.
Because I don't understand how Inter lose the Copa. I don't understand how PSG have an undefeated season to be the first French team to do that and lose basically almost at the finish line to a knee side. So a lot to look forward to in the Champions League. I mean, Penn's track and field. I mean, Diamond League. I mean, KC down there doing big things. Calabar down there doing big things. I mean, all the Jamaican high schools. You might see me in purple as purple, but we like to see Jamaica represent all across the board. I mean, we want to win everything, but it's good to see Calabar winning and Immaculate, and I mean, maybe I want Teachfield here and there. But Pens is going on.
Yeah, we have a look at JPL as well. Because VA Phoenix is down. Finally, it's confirmed.
So how is that good news?
Oh, jeez.
Happy that VA Phoenix, because you always say, the thing is Money Cup this week.
He's one who comes walk in and just walk out to title.
Give him some time, but if you get relegated, that means you have to come back up, right?
Yeah.
Oh, snap. So that's
another.
That's another, I mean, speed bump in the road. Yeah, Phoenix is, but to rise again, that you have to fall.
You have to fall.
And fall off. But later on in the show, we'll talk about that as well. But
we have the controversy boss at the halfway point.
People, you're looking forward to that. People message me and say, hey, what time Peter coming on? I'm like, I come on before Peter. Actually trim for the show.
We asked Peter the other day, driving past. On the Mandela on the ferry.
What are you doing that side? I didn't know he was in the island. Oh, he's back in the island, people. I'm back in the studio. Last week, he gave us a interesting sports commentary from somewhere in the world, because he went smooth last week, but at the end he had to drop stuff, and the people love it. I tell you, sometimes I get the feedback, I'll be like, Peter is something else, but he's one of us on the Primal Sports Desk. So as I said, to kick things off, basketball. Froggy, last week we made some, I wouldn't say bold predictions, we made some, I would think some straightforward predictions where we see where things are going according. Because I think these first rounds will go out to play. Although Jimmy Butler's injury to Golden State Houston might play a big factor in that. You see where now the series is nodded at
1-1.
1-1. And Jimmy Butler might be questionable for game 3, which is tonight at 7:30 local time, Jamaica time, that is. So with that injury, I'm wondering if I should change my pick. No, I'm sticking with Golden State.
Golden State. Although this Rockets team, they look They look like
They had the
they're
second
playing.
best record in the West for the
And
season. So
Kawhi playing.
no, that's
No,
Clippers.
Clippers, yeah.
Yeah.
But the Rockets are playing, and I think they're not shy about it.
A young gun.
It's a young, they're playing well. The Thompsons haven't showed up just yet, but they are playing well. The Jimmy Butler injury, I don't think it's that serious for an injury. It looks serious, but when the capping just to and make things a little bit unstable. I don't think it's that serious. I think he will be back for game 3 and maybe play limited time just to watch the injury. And that means more from Steph and company. But I think they'll get it over the line. They have done it throughout the season. I keep in my pick with the Warriors.
I'm sticking with the Warriors just because of the experience that Warriors have, not only on the court but on the bench in terms of Steve Kerr, coach, 4-time champion, as coach. I mean, as players, been there to finals, has lost, has won, has been around great players. I mean, Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan, now Steph Curry. I mean, Draymond Green for me is a bit too theatrical at times, and I think that can cost his team. Whereby I know it gives them a boost in moral and that, but sometimes I think he goes over the board and may get a technical foul, and even so that may lead to ejection or missing a game, as we have seen in the past, where to me has cost the Warriors. But yet still, he's a ride or die. You have to roll with him because I mean you don't win 4 championships without Draymond Green, and he's a very high IQ player. I mean, doesn't have a great skill set in terms of going to jump out the building or shoot lights out from 3, but he does the intangibles. But as I said, sometimes I think he goes over the line with his theatrics. But as I said, take it or lose it. You win with him, you lose with him. And not many people have 4 championships in terms of playing that pivotal role. So he is definitely a key figure to the Warriors' success. And I think that Draymond Green, if he plays that role and gets Steph free up, I mean, Jimmy Butler injury, as I said, hopefully it's not that serious. I still see the Warriors going through. And we like to have the big games, the big matchups as the playoffs go along. So not to say we're rooting against the Rockets. I want to see the Rockets lose. Yes, they have young talent. Jalen Green to me is a talent. I mean Sengun, but we want to see the Warriors. It's like a Cinderella story. We want to see Steph Curry go along, but I think they still have the prowess to go through, and I have them still winning 4-2.
Might push it to 4-3.
Might push it to 4-3. Yeah, we both have GSW.
We'll see where OKC is basically wrapping up their series. 3.
Yeah, they're up 3 love, and now the game 4 is going on. At the end of the first quarter, they're up 30-1. I think Ja Morant is out for this game.
Yeah,
Memphis put up a fight in game 3, should have won, but OKC is running like a well-tuned machine.
Surprised OKC came back. I was like, okay, this game is done and dusted.
OKC running like a well-oiled machine, and their regular season record is the 6th best record of all time. We didn't give much note to that. So OKC is one of the best regular season teams of all time. So we can I think it was 14 losses and 68 wins, if I'm not mistaken. And that's the 6th best record. So we have to give them some kudos. And as I said, right now they're running like a Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton drive.
He's driving Ferrari now.
He's running like a Ferrari. You know you're a Lewis Hamilton fan.
No.
You're not?
I'm not a Lewis fan. I'm more a
current.
No.
Not back in the day.
No, I wasn't a Lewis fan.
You're Formula
Charles, Formula 1, but it's Charles.
Okay. I thought you rolled with the champs.
No,
I mean, you're on the Primal team, so I thought you rolled with the champs like me and Peter. But you're not rolling with Lewis.
Lewis wine and dine too much sometimes.
That's part
complain too much.
Just like Draymond, I guess. But as I said, back to the basketball. OKC running on all cylinders, and I think they will wrap up. As you said, we both had it as a sweep. So I mean, hey, OKC, they're looking dangerous. I don't see who gonna beat them.
But let's go to your series. Nuggets, Clippers.
Clippers. Kawhi Leonard stepping up like a ball.
I can tell you, I'm not seeing this in him from he came back. I don't know what's the difference with Kawhi, but he looks menacing out there, and I don't think Nuggets have an answer for him just yet. And I'm wondering now, with this being the post Malone era, I wonder if this is the little kink or the little straw that is breaking Nuggets back right now.
I mean, every game is close.
And we said it was going to be a close series.
I mean, every match. And Game 4 is coming up today at 5 o'clock, and I'm definitely going to watch that match at 5 because I think the Denver Clippers series is probably the best series. I give it the best series so far. New York Detroit is good to watch also, but Clippers Denver with the star power there as well. Jokic, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Jamal Murray playing good. I mean,
Porter though,
I don't know what's up with
going
Michael Porter.
hot and cold.
I think this is the last season in Denver.
He's
Westbrook is.
Oh, he needs to go.
He's
another hot and cold.
Hot and cold. But when he's hot, he's hot. And when he's cold, he's cold. And
Cold as ice.
Nuggets know what they got in Westbrook, and I think the series will come down to him playing a role where is either going to cost them a win or cost them a loss.
You added that Nuggets in what, 6? And they're down 2-1.
I did Nuggets in 7.
They're Nuggets in 7.
Nuggets in 7. They're down 2-1. I still have Nuggets in 7.
Nuggets in
I'm
7.
sticking with the pick. I don't switch people. I mean, if I'm sinking with the ship, I'm sinking with the ship. The shop says Denver in 7, but the Clippers playing.
I had Nuggets in 6.
But I'm looking forward to OKC versus the winner of this series. And I think that will be OKC's real test. Because if you look on the score lines throughout these playoffs, barely teams reaching 100. And if you watch the regular season, everybody going over 130.
Defense is not playing.
Defense. All those shots they're jacking up, they're not going down. People, I mean, up in the grill, defense, the refs letting them play. The scores are like 95, 85.
I think the refs are
like
being...
back in the 90s.
Yeah, the refs are really meticulous now. I think they're doing a better job this playoff series than previous years. And they
it's good to watch. It's good to watch how ratings go up. So people who watching the show, I mean, some good basketball players.
Yeah,
I mean, some of the series are kind of lopsided because you see where Cleveland beat Miami earlier to go up 3-0.
Yeah,
we both had that series and OK series as just sweep. So, I mean, separate and apart from that, even the Boston Island series is good to watch.
Yeah, and even the Bucks and Pacers. Bucks coming back and showing that they're not going to go down. I like the Knicks and the Pistons. Yeah. I like that series.
Yeah. I think that is the second best series.
I like that series.
We're wrapping up on the Clippers Denver series. I still have Denver in 7. Who do you have with that? Stuff. Clippers playing good. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Clippers.
Okay, I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence with that one. I had Denver last, but
we don't stay on the fence.
All right, I'm going Denver in 7. It's gonna go to game 7. It's gonna go 7. I had it in 6 first, but when I look
this
at
game
it,
coming up today, if Clippers win this game today, going up 3-1, I think it will be over.
It's going to 7.
This game, if Denver don't win this game today,
7.
It's over. It's over. Denver has to win today. It's a must-win game for Denver.
Denver will win.
I mean, I have Denver in 7.
Denver will win.
We both have Denver in 7. But if Denver loses this game, next week we'll be coming back singing the blues. Saying we're looking forward to OKC and the Clippers. But I wouldn't mind seeing OKC Denver. Either which way, it would be a good matchup. But before I go to the East, Froggy, you know we have to go on Minnesota.
Yes, because I called it.
Yeah, I mean, you're rubbing your crystal ball. It's not there yet.
I said
you start Minnesota.
Minnesota in 7.
In 7. But if Minnesota wins in 7, that means they'll have to win on the Lakers' home floor.
They're not fit.
Luka and LeBron, you think Lakers would lose a game 7?
They won the first game.
I'm just saying.
They won the game first.
But game 7 is game 7.
One thing I can tell you,
Game 7 is different.
Luka and LeBron is behaving like some bartenders, week on and week off. It's like today's your game, tomorrow's your game. Yeah, it's like some shifts. I don't understand.
By week today, your week next week.
So now that Luka was kind of not feeling so well last night. So I guess the next game, LeBron won't be feeling so well. Because he
plays
can't.
at 100%. Nobody plays at 100%.
But LeBron cannot play 2 good games in the playoff.
Not even with a break. You think LeBron
it's 40?
And his game was good.
Last night.
So
and
next game, LeBron numbers will be down.
Yeah. And
but
Luka
that's a must-win game for Lakers. If Lakers go down 3-1, it ain't going 7.
It done, you know.
It ain't going 7. So.
And even something I saw last night, which kind of just rubbed me the wrong way. I think it was like 2 minutes left in the game or so. And Lakers are down by 7. The refs were doing one of those calls, review call. And I'm looking at LeBron over there with Anthony Edwards laughing and giggling by the bench. And I'm like, your team is down by 7, 2 minutes left in the game. And you're laughing.
I mean,
you're laughing.
Sports kind of change.
The game was 103-103 when Anthony Edwards come in the game. And you're telling me that Lakers only shoot one more basket? Who was a free throw?
Hey, Timberwolves made some timely shots down the stretch. I mean, Anthony Edwards, Naz Reid.
And you know,
I like our Ant has an aura about him.
I see that last shot.
Ant is playing
That
with
last 3 point.
with a swag.
You know why I like that last 3-pointer? It shows you that normally when the game is done, I know the game done and dusted. We're not gonna shoot. We're just gonna let the clock run out. They show that they're not here to play.
Yeah.
They run the play and they get off a shot, which is a 3-pointer, the last shot of the game. They find that they call it a disrespectful shot because the game is already done. They're showing that, hey, we're not going to ease up. We're showing that we're coming here to play. So if you want to come and laugh, you're not going to get that out of the Timberwolves. We're here to play.
Yeah, as I said, Ant remind me of like
back in the day, Jordan.
No, like a Iverson.
Something about it.
Just swagging playing with the camp. Yes, Jordan too, but you know.
He's the one that said it last year that he's now the new face of NBA. And he's showing up. And even though his points isn't there, he's carrying the team. And the team is rallying behind him. So I don't know.
And looking like
a beast this year.
Bigger than superstar and looking like he's ready. I remember last year Timberwolves made it to the Western Conference Finals. And Luka is Luka. Yes. So and looking to serve that revenge.
You want to prove something.
I think even so, if Minnesota gets through this round, which I think you're trying to convince me with this Minnesota. I'm sticking with my pick though. I might change it. I had Lakers in 6. I'm going to Lakers in 7. You have Minnesota in 7, but it looking like Minnesota has the answers for Lakers at least. And I think Minnesota goes through. They will defeat the Warriors next round. So we'll have Minnesota in the Western Conference Finals. But you said it last week. I said no. I said the Lakers.
I said the Wolves. And
so I'm not stealing your thunder. Let's see what the crystal ball brings. But you're onto something. This Minnesota team, Ant Edwards and company. I mean,
they want it. They have a year
off the bench,
and they are a year older.
Daniels.
Okay.
I mean, they have a leader in Ant making the big plays and playing defense. I mean, and chirping. I like the chirping, you know. Oh, I mean, you can't ask Peter. I mean, Peter, we like the chirping, right? You have to chirp. You have to you can't play and just, okay. You have to be like, hey, I'm here. Michael Jordan, come and start. I'm going to drop 40 on you tonight. No, I'm going to drop a 60 piece. Michael Jordan said, hey, I'm going to score 50 tonight. Tell them boys I'm ready. Before the game, Michael Jordan will come and tell them in the locker room. The opponent team saying, hey, you're going to drop 50.
He'll come and say, who's marking me? Him?
Yeah.
Oh, Fiddy.
And then he drop a 50. But that's a part of the game. That Kevin Garnett. I like those type of players. You have to have, you know?
Yeah, because what that does, you know, that kind of offset the thinking of the player. Because like he wants to drop 50, so that makes the player wants to guard him even more. But guarding like a Jordan or even an Edwards more means that you're likely to foul.
Yeah.
So he just playing mind games with you right there, and you're falling for his trap. Anthony was coming out and saying, "Hey, I'm the man. I'm the new face."
Yeah. And he's like,
come.
I even
and
said
get me.
Jokic is the best player in the world. Where he's playing, but apart from me, I mean, the way he's playing, you know, he's the best player in the world aside from me. So he has that confidence. He has that swag. He has that, you know, that panache about him. And I see him making threes and pointing and looking at Luke, and he's not doing it to other players. He's doing it to the superstar and saying, "Hey,
you
bring it." Yeah, and I love that. So I mean, Minnesota is not really a love team,
but they're getting some love now.
Yeah, but
eyes on me, all eyes on me.
But you know the Luka LeBron fairy tale story. Everybody wants.
Yeah, that's a fairy tale, but it just
and everybody wants to see Lakers Golden State next round. Let's see if the league
will not allow that.
You think NBA rigged? League would not allow?
NBA is rigged, you know.
It's rigged.
I don't think they would allow the Lakers to go to the next round.
I don't think they allow. I think they played for it.
I want to play for it.
Think going game 7.
Yeah.
But if Lakers lose game 4, I think they should pack their bags.
No, LeBron is gonna go one more.
Lakers winning game 4. I have Lakers winning game 4, and I have it going 7. I have Lakers in 7. You have Minnesota in 7. So,
wait, game 4 is what? Minnesota? Oh no, they're not getting that. That's 3-1. 3-1.
So is it going 7?
3-1 going back. Boy.
Look at the match.
3-1 going back down.
Back to LA. LA wins game 6 in Minnesota. Because game 6 and then
Momentum.
And game 7, and
And
put the crowd on it. Sounds good, sounds fair. But I have Lakers winning game 4, and I have the having swapping on each other home courts and Lakers winning in 7. But let's see, that's how we play the game. We make predictions, we watch it, we love it, but I mean, it's fun, it's entertaining, and to see these guys go out there 90 night out and what they produce. I mean, Jokic is averaging a triple double again in that series.
yeah,
OKC running like, as I said, a Ferrari. Golden
well
State
oiled.
Houston punching back and forth. Minnesota with looking like the new face of the league. In Ant might be the next king of the league. I mean, I do that swag. But that wraps up the West. Heading to the East. As I said, Cleveland went up 3-love earlier. We both had that as a sweep.
Not much to talk about that.
Moving on. Cleveland wrapping up in Miami. Cleveland is one of the better teams throughout the regular season. And they're proving that Miami has their struggles. I mean, Jimmy Butler traded during the season. He was their leader. I mean, now it's Bam and Tyler Hero and a bunch of road players down there that can't do much
Next year
and
for
put
the
up anything for Cleveland. Cleveland in 4.
They did what they had to do to reach the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's their achievement.
Yeah, through the plane.
So, which I don't even like the plane, but anyway.
They made it through.
They made it so that they did what they had to do, and now they're here, so they just have to just give an account for themselves.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's Cavs, and they are running on the car. They are well oiled as well. They're not easing up on anybody, so it's just unfortunate that the Heat find themselves in this position, but what can we say?
Yeah.
That's just it.
I mean, Cleveland is the better team, and they have the better players, the way they're performing throughout the year. Yeah, Cleveland in 4, we said it.
And if we're going to go Cleveland, might as well go Celtics next. Celtics are Magics. That
I mean,
seems
Magic won game 3, so if Magic can win game 4 and go 2-2, it can be an interesting
It's
series.
just puzzling to me.
I had Boston winning 4-1.
It's puzzling. I thought Boston would have swept them because at beginning of the third quarter, Boston was like well ahead. Game was like done and dusted. I don't know what happened in the third quarter. I think it was 24 points to 11 points. And one quarter, 11 points. I didn't know that these guys start playing netball.
Remember defense, you know.
That 11 points with the offense of Celtics. You are telling me that Magic defense
plays slow. Magic slows down the game, and if you allow Magic or play at their pace, you won't get much possessions, and then you'll find yourself just jacking up threes. And as Peter said, that's not even fun to watch. And Celtic shoot a bag of threes during the regular season. I think that is their Achilles heel. I think Celtics has the players that can get to the rim, but they settle for too much threes. They have Porzingis, Tatum is tall, strong, Jalen Brown. I mean, Derek White is a quick player. We know Drew Holiday, high Q level, is one of the best in the league. But I think they settle for too much threes. Even with the players coming off the bench like Pritchard, Hauser, even Alafa just shooting threes. And I said, and if you allow Orlando to play the game, Orlando doesn't shoot a bunch of threes. Orlando play grit and grind, physical basketball. And if you allow them to play, they will get on their skin. And I saw that in game 3. And they pull off the victory on their home court. And if they can do that again in game 4, it will be a long series. But I think Boston has too much
They have to tweak it.
firepower with them boys, Tatum, different champions and all of that. But if you drop us 60, I think the Magic can pick their pocket. But I have Boston winning 4-1. I don't think Boston will win any more games because Boston know what's at stake. Boston has the more experienced players. Boston has, as I said, that firepower. Don't see how this them.
I don't know how.
They're going to come on game 4 and go up 3-1 and wrap up the series 4-1. I think I predicted from last time 4.
Knicks and Pistons as 2-1 up.
I Knicks in 6.
We did say that this was be one of the most exciting series, and you're Canadian, and I was saying, no, listen, these guys.
I knew this series was going to be a active series. I had this series as one to watch based on how these two teams operated during the regular season. And I mean, Detroit has a young leader in Kate Cunningham, which we're watching this now. This experience he's going to get from these playoffs. Come 2-3 years from now, Cunningham is going to be a beast in this league. And I think a lot of people sleep on Kate Cunningham. In our eyes, you see Ant Edwards, you see the jumper, and you see these players are more in the limelight. Kate Cunningham.
Just like Paul,
for the
yeah.
two players I see. I mean, 5 years from now,
There'll be something.
running the league. I mean, yes, no Shea, we know we know Jamaran, but Paul Banchero, Kate Cunningham are two legit players, and I like how we have these players all across the league, and it just makes basketball fun to watch. And hopefully the ratings will go back up. And even so, regular season kind of played out, just run up and down. If you ask me, sometimes we wait for the playoffs and we see if we can produce what we see now in the playoffs more so in the regular season. I think it will boost ratings, especially with these names, star player names. If you can associate all stars to all these teams, you see Halliburton down in Indiana, we see Kane in Detroit, we see Banchero in Magic, although I don't think Banchero will stay a Magic forever. But Brunson in Knicks is good. So Towns down there.
They're giving a good account of himself.
I start part of the league as the offer now, and I said with these players and the defense are playing, it's good basketball.
Even with the Pacers and the Bucks, so the Bucks coming back after lopsided after two. What happened to them?
They go back home. I mean,
Final little Stella final move back.
Some people feel like there's no such thing as home court advantage. I think we should discuss this on the show. Remember when we come back with three of us have a round table talk. I've heard the notion that there's no such thing as home court advantage. I mean, you both play the same field, but there is. As with the atmosphere, you see the pitch, you fans in the stadium, the whole environment. I mean, I'm sure there's case studies and discussions. I've heard people say stories about going to the cup. A lot of professional football players say the hardest place to go and play is the cup. So some of these players are doing plenty in there. They go all like say Champions League, and they could burn up all. Barcelona Stadium, the Juventus Stadium, Bayern Stadium. When they go to the cup, it's like a different energy. I think there is something else on the court, and maybe the Bucks going back home. I don't know.
Try to find out.
Possibly,
but I still have the Pacers. I still have the Pacers. So by next week, it seems supposed to be wrapped up.
By next week, we'll talk about the quarterfinals. If everything wrap up, and we'll see if our predictions actually come through. I'm saying OKC didn't find it. I'm saying yes.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I have the
Sticking
Wolves.
to my pick. I kind of seen the light shine, but I'm sticking with my pick.
I tell you that.
I'm sticking with Luka Magic.
They're using the two faces of NBA to the finals of the West.
Who is that now?
AE and Shai.
So Shea and
Anthony Edwards.
Ant-Man and Shai.
That's the final. That is the Western Conference final.
Let's see.
I tell you that's it.
And on the East, Cleveland gonna face off with Indiana. We have it that way. Cleveland. I think Cleveland and Boston, but
yeah, Cleveland and Boston.
The Knicks and Detroit can even go further.
Let's just see, And like you did say, the ratings of NBA might just be boosted, but I think they need to go with my plan, and it should work out, Just go the regular 82-game season. Whoever wins that conference, they are crowned Eastern Conference.
Why that would be hard is you play certain teams more than once. Like in your conference, you play a team 4 times a year, versus you play an East team only twice, home and away. So, in that sense, if you with your plan, they would have to change your whole phase and make everybody play everybody 3 times.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, maybe that third time at a neutral venue or something.
Yeah. And whoever wins the East, whoever tops the table at the East,
you have to change up the format.
They are the Eastern Conference champions.
You have divisions within the conference. So Western Conferences has 4 divisions. Eastern Conference has 4 other divisions. And you play certain teams more often, even so, in your conference. So that mix will be.
They need to find a way to make the regular season become more interesting, and I think that is why.
And then with traveling, as Peter said last week, it's harder to travel.
They're traveling
It's easier to go Boston to New York.
They're still traveling.
That's why Boston and New York play so often.
4 time zones. 4 time zones, brother. Different thing. 4 time zones.
They're still traveling.
That's why they have it, though.
No, the time zones make a big difference.
Yeah.
I want to see that, though.
You go 4 hours and back and forth and see how that affects you.
Rough. Rough. But people reach midway point, and it's time for sports commentary with the controversial boss himself. Back in the studio.
Greetings, welcome. Good to be back. Good to be back, gentlemen. Last week I was away, and a lot of things went down. One of the things that I spoke about last week is that there's a social media guy, 119, who he picked on some sports personalities. You know, he was notorious for naming Jamaica's 10 ugliest women, and predictably, you know, you had the director of public prosecutions was in there, and Miss Kitty. And all that kind. But quite famously, as the number one, no, be careful. I not finished with the story yet. You know, the director of public prosecution is a serious lady, you know. And I'm not saying she had a hand in this, but 119 found himself arrested. You know, less than a week afterwards for the Cybercrimes Act. The Cybercrimes Act is about making statements that might be considered harassing or threatening using computers. And so 119 was held by the police and released on $400,000 worth of bail. So 119, you know, you were wrong to pick on the Clayton twins. I don't know that they deserve jointly. One of them must deserve it more than the other. I don't know. I'm gonna go to table tennis for a minute. In the recent big thing happened last week. Yeah. The big thing happened last week. A Brazilian table tennis player by the name of Hugo Calderano, coached by a friend of mine, Thiago, who has been on the show, won the World Cup, upset the odds and beat the number 3 in the world, Aramoto, number 2 in the world, Wang Chuqin, and then in the finals, clobbered the number 1 player in the world, Lin Shidong, 4-1. Lin Shidong was winning the first game easy. And it looked like a rout. And 2-2 was the quint. And it was all over. Calderano played some of the most devastating 44 points at table tennis to destroy thing. It went against everything I expected. The first game went how I expected. But the other 4 games was Ken, were you surprised?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know, in table tennis, let me tell you something about table tennis, and you know this. There are some players you can beat easily, and then somehow you let them in the game, and it's all over. And it's like a strong fighter. If you're not grabbing them tight enough and thing, and you're allowed to get their shot off, that's all that make the difference, you know. And Calderano was allowed to open, particularly on the wide backhand side, and he was blazing. Lin Chidong is usually quicker to the ball, but yeah, great performance by Calderano. A lot of people is jumping up and down like they won. It's like Calderano, you know, they needed to shake off the Chinese. Yes, Calderano is an honorary Caribbean, no? Honorary Jamaican, and all this kind of thing. And, you know, Brazil, it's long time Brazil not winning anything, you know. Not winning nothing in football, for sure. So it's good. And even though Calderano has lived almost all his life in France, he's being celebrated back home in Brazil. So congratulations to Calderano and the coach, Thiago Monteiro. It's possible we might have Thiago in a couple of weeks. He told me he'd love to talk to us about what it was like to coach a World Championship final. So Primal, that's something we have to look forward to. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but there's a man who have the record for being the sub-10 king of the world. And you know who that sub-10 king was? Who was the sub-10 king?
Or who is?
Yeah, who is the sub-10 king? Wrong. The sub-10 king of the world up to a month ago was Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt has run sub-10 for 10 consecutive years, which is the record, which makes him the king of all sub-10 runners.
He has run the most. He has run
The king, you know, king is season. So the point is that recently, Akani Simbini of South Africa, I saw in the South African media that there's a new sub-10 king because Simbini has now run sub-10 in 11 consecutive seasons, beating the previous sub-10 king, Usain Bolt. What's up with you? Who you thought was the sub-10 king?
There's no such thing as a sub-10 king. It's just a title.
But what I found funny is the South African media has their own sub-10 king all along. And now that Simbine, he ran this race in Ghana the other day, and he went 9 point something. 9.9. Obviously, you have to go 9.90 to become the sub-10 king of the world. So, now, what do you all make of this situation with Asafa? The country is divided, you know. There's two sets of people. One set of people saying that that the man has a right to speak up, and the way they treat Bolt and him, and because they're bringing Bolt into it now, you know, they're saying that the SSL. SSL scandal, Bolt was treated badly by Jamaicans, and Asafa was standing up, not just for himself. Looked like he was standing up for himself, but he was standing up for himself and Bolt and thing. But I don't really buy that one. What I saw Asafa talking about was the fact that I think he went to Ghana at some point, and they gave him a dashiki to wear and some African stuff. And he's saying, boy, this would look good in Jamaica, you know, that should be welcome that way. And he made some statements afterwards that he was not an ordinary person. You know, he's something special, and the athletes, this and that. And I feel that competing for your country is an honor, and you should never bring your country into disgrace. And I think that if he's upset about something, he has the ear of the JA, he has the ear of the JOA, he has the ear of the JAAA as well. You can work behind the scenes to improve the lot of all athletes. Or was he just speaking for himself? Do you think he was just speaking for himself? Because he seemed to be upset about that plot of land that somebody promised him. I don't know if it's just Porsche promised him. And then you have to remember, the man is a highly decorated athlete because he has a statue. And I'm about to start a campaign for Ilian's statue. Ilian don't have no statue. Yeah. And also Kishian have a silver medal and don't have no statue.
Interestingly, you know that.
And run 9.7.
I don't mean to cut you, Peter. I don't say it's just the other day I found out that Asafa is the only man who has broken the record, world record twice, and don't have a world championship.
I didn't know that.
Twice or 3 times?
You sure about that?
Doesn't have an Olympic goal and don't have a world championship goal.
I didn't know that. But on the last note now,
I think he's the only person to break the record 3 times too.
Is that true?
And don't have a gold medal at Olympics or world record.
record 3 times.
We're gonna look that up.
I think both records.
We're gonna look that
up. Twice.
We're gonna look that up.
Because both set the bar and then him just never break it. But I think Asafa.
Didn't he break it twice in the same Olympics when he did the?
No man, 2 different Olympics.
No, the Olympics where he found himself way ahead of everybody.
Yeah. And 6'9".
And 6'9".
That was a world record.
Yeah, and then they break it.
And then so it's only twice he broke the world record.
I think Asafa did it.
I'm pretty sure he broke the world record in New York.
I'm
pretty sure Bolt broke the world record at a Grand Prix event in New York.
Break it on John Grand
That was his first, So that's 3 for Bolt.
Yes.
So Bolt is the what you call him? The record-breaking king, and he's the sub-10 king, and he's even the Burger King, as far as I'm concerned. The final thing, though, you know, is that the president of the Chinese Table Tennis Federation, Liu Guliang, after his player lost the World Championship, he handed in his resignation. Yeah. And now the new president is Wang Liqin, who was our all-time Olympic medalist. He's now the president of Chinese table tennis. And guess who is the vice president? Ma Long. No. Ma Long is the vice president of table tennis.
And still playing?
I don't know if he's going to play now because he probably knew something when he retired. But just to point out one more thing, that this position that Liu Guliang had was unsustainable. He's a president of WTT that's running the tour and making a lot of money. And he's also the guy in charge of the Chinese team. I thought that was a conflict of interest. I said it on Primal 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. You remember, Ken? Yeah. And now we see him leaving that, but he's still a vice president of the ITTF, and he's still a director of the WTT. I still say that's a conflict of interest. That's sports commentary. What says you?
Smoother commentary.
I tried not to get too
much controversy.
Yeah, I was going to say something about the ugliest, but I decided to withdraw it. Yeah, because if them can lock up 119,
who is you not to get?
Who am I not to be locked up?
But yeah, touch on some football because coming up this week on April 29th and April 30th, Champions League tie. So we have to do a little Champions League roundup before next week because we can't wait till next week. We say,
Arsenal still in it? Arsenal still in it?
Arsenal
I have noticed.
We'll be playing April 29th. That's on Tuesday.
But doesn't Arsenal have a aggregate advantage?
No,
No,
it's
this is the first leg.
First leg coming up.
Oh,
first
okay,
leg,
okay.
First semi-final. So the first leg will be
It's semi-final time now.
semi-final time. First leg will be at Arsenal against PSG, and on Wednesday, Barca will be at home playing Inter. Arsenal, PSG. Man, you man, why you say?
PSG,
I know you're
PSG.
going to say that to the car.
No, PSG.
One thing, Man U fans, if
Arsenal ever win Champions League?
Is Raheem contributing to Arsenal?
No,
Why is Raheem not contributing to Arsenal?
because he can't play.
It's just not fitting in the team. I mean,
Yes,
fit-
why is he
wear
not
and
fitting in the
tear.
system?
Ask the coach.
burnout.
We can call Raheem, you know, have his number.
So you have PSG.
PSG, yeah.
So for leg one, the first leg. You
where's
have
it
PSG
playing?
going over. So you have a PSG Barca final.
PSG winning both legs 2-1.
PSG winning both legs 2-1.
Mhm.
Interesting. I don't know. PSG for me has a historic season this season. I thought they would have gone undefeated. After 29 games, they were undefeated with 24 wins and 5 draws, 0 losses. Never has there been a French team that had an invincible season.
Sure.
And they lost yesterday.
Yeah.
They lost 3-1 to Nice. So I don't know how at the last hurl, trying to wrap up this, win the cup, win Champions
He was
League.
never meant to be.
It was never meant to
It
be.
was never meant
so
to
I don't
be.
know if this is because I see a lot of teams doing good, and then at the end of the season, just like running, you run the race 90 meter, you run and both just come prepared.
Yeah.
After a bad start and a okay middle, and then you just see both just with that
Pick your
power
pocket
because
again.
both
Yeah.
is
Top end
both.
speed.
So I don't know if PSG historically is going to blunder at the finish line because PSG with buying Messi before with Ibrahimovic and Cavani, a lot of star power always go to PSG and they never ever.
But that's the difference.
They've never
But
gelled
now-
as a champion.
Now
but
this team to me
It's
is
not
one
a
of the
star.
best.
It's not a star-studded
It's not
team.
a
It's
star-studded
a
team.
balanced team.
It's a balance. The most popular.
I must admit, I've seen less
probably
Champions
them
League this year
Yeah.
than any other year. I'm seeing less Champions League. I don't.
Hakimi and Dembele, the
Yeah,
two
so-
best stars
But
on
the
the
thing is,
team.
I think you need star power. But
they're playing.
their star power didn't do
They
that.
have a star.
So you think PSG is gonna win the whole thing?
It might sound stupid, but yeah.
They're not so stupid. They're so
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
It's only 4 teams.
only
You know.
4
Why,
teams
you
left.
know why I think they
Hold on, you think Man U going Champions League?
next
No,
year.
because they're not in it.
Next
But
year.
it has to be
Precisely.
one of these 4.
But
They have a
to-
pretty good chance.
Really and truly, when I look at this PSG team compared to previous years, they had a lot of star power, and it wasn't going according to plan. They were not playing well. Neymar out injured, falling every minute. It wasn't clicking, and I think the board of directors at the club realized what was going on, and they shipped out the bad eggs, and they brought in players who want to play. So that I don't look at the loss. The
But I
3-1
think
loss.
this matchup for Arsenal and PSG is favorable for both because I think the 2 better teams are on the next side, Barca, Inter.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, 2 of them can't go finals. One of them.
So we have winning the whole thing.
I have PSG. I think
I
Kane have
have-
Inter.
Barcelona as usual.
The winner, Barca, Inter.
Inter beating
Inter
Barca.
is very experienced. Inter playing good for the season. Barca is clicking as well. But I think that tie can go either way. But I have Barca, Arsenal final. Barca winning.
Of Inter going to 3-2 and aggregate.
Barca with young Yamal. I mean,
Yeah.
I think this is going to be his coming of the age.
How about the
group.
kid from Turkey? Is he still Lula Gola? What's his name?
Gola,
again?
that-
He's at,
I
he's
don't-
at Real Madrid.
He's at Real Madrid.
Okay.
Arda Güler.
I haven't seen him this year at all.
He hasn't played much.
No, I'm changing my pick. All right, no, I'm cut between the Barca Inter tie.
I tell you, Inter winning 3-2 Barca on overall
It's tough.
against Barca, and I think
tough.
PSG.
I think
PSG
this is
Inter,
probably probably the closest Champions League in terms of having a favorite.
because they are all
Even
balanced.
in both
teams.
matchups, I think if you check the bookies, Barca is probably 55-45 favorite, or even 52-48. With Arsenal PSG, the same.
Neck and neck.
It's this close where after leg 1, I can give a better prediction, but it's going into this now
No, I tell
blindsided
you, man.
to pick 2 teams based on their form. With PSG losing this much weekend, I don't know if it's a case where they're focusing on the
Champions League, they're going
because
for
the
it.
league is done. French league is done.
Why
EPL is
not?
done. Liverpool has won EPL.
The investment that the PSG.
So these two teams basically have nothing else to play for. Well, PSG win the title.
Yeah,
Arsenal come second. So these two teams solely focus on Champions League. And the other side, Barca and Inter, both in their league races. Barca leading the league, but it's very close. Inter leading the league, but they're tied on points. So
which is
the focus with Arsenal and PSG, because Arsenal draw with
Inter's a little distracted with the
not
league.
distracted. They have a lot on their plate.
With the league.
Yeah, they have a lot of plate on the league, and I think that might be a telling factor.
That's usually the case for most champions.
No,
teams,
but they're tied on points in the league.
No. But the point is, that's usually the case for most
Yeah,
champions.
but based on rotation
all the
and
seasons,
teams coming up with
the seasons are always going to be hectic. When you're a big team like Barcelona, you're in the finals
you
of almost
expect it.
everything.
But Barca is
But
also
that's what I'm saying.
distracted.
Arsenal and PSG, they're not distracted.
They have
Fair
one
enough.
dream.
They
They
can
don't have
rest
anything
players.
else to play for.
They have nothing else. They can rest the players. They can look forward to it. So that's why with that match, and I think Arsenal playing the first leg at home will probably eke out a 2-1 victory.
I have PSG winning 2-1.
So
I think Arsenal overachieve against Real Madrid. Real Madrid is a team that has not been balanced the entire season. The Vinny and Mbappe not working out.
Real Madrid every year them and then they find a way. For what
Find a
Arsenal
way.
did against Real Madrid shows that they have some
They
pedigree.
just plug the,
You can't sleep
plug the
on
midfield.
Arsenal.
You plug the midfield.
But, I mean, it's tactics.
You can't plug it against PSG
They're going to come with a different tactic.
to find something.
But that's why you have coaches. That's why you have training sessions. That's why you do. I mean,
And they
video
won't-
conferencing and watch over matches and details and X's and O's. Remember, so the coach alone is not. You have a technical team way behind him. Can show, all right, that person cheats on that. There are people that just sit and say, your job is to study that man. So remember, their coaching staff goes, I mean, beyond even just the video room. You have people that just go in the stadium. People probably can't even watch it training. It's very scientific. So, and that's on both teams. So, going to that match, Arsenal first leg at home. I think I give Arsenal the edge just because of that. I mean, winning the first leg, then going back to PSG, it's going to be trouble. So,
PSG
but
going through, man.
Arsenal beating Real Madrid, coming here, I give Arsenal the edge. I have Arsenal in the final, and Barca Inter.
I can't see Arsenal winning Champions League. I can't see an English team winning Champions League. Sorry.
No.
Back in the days of Liverpool and Man U.
The winner comes between Barca and Inter.
I don't see
Yeah.
that. I don't see that.
Yeah.
I have PSG going all the way. The investment,
PSG going out. The winner Barca Inter will win
the
Champions.
investment that I've put into this team and the coach and getting the players who want to play and how they are playing, believe me, I have PSG.
No. It's
Yeah,
as I said,
PSG.
it's a very close Champions League.
Very, very
It's
close.
Very, very close.
And the teams are very much closer as well.
The ties up, the matchups, even the finals, it's going to be close. I'm thinking back from semi-final on. I've never seen a Champions League this close where you don't have a favorite, like say probably 60-40, and that's barely even a favorite, or 70-30, based on their form, based on who they have on the pitch. Because you'll be like, all right, Messi out there, all right, Cristiano out there, or that team loaded,
think
or Bayern, Bayern playing that well.
The problem is that there's no real superstar playing for any of these teams anymore. I mean,
well-rounded teams. The
yeah,
four teams
take
are
out
well-rounded.
no Lewandowski, no Brazilian, no
Top
Messi,
Brazilian.
no top Brazilian. I mean,
Lewandowski's on Barca, but
but
they're
you
playing.
know,
They have a
there's no,
strikers.
there's,
Rafinha is probably playing the best in Champions League.
yeah, he's playing well.
For Barca, but as I said, it's four teams well-rounded, and they're full of match winners all over the pitch. But I think these four teams are going to be divided by, I mean, a mere goal. I don't see a blowout on both sides of the fence. But take a pick. But I think
In the event of a tie, how is the Champions League settled?
penalties. So after both legs, if you're tied,
So on the second leg,
in the second
There'll
leg,
be-
there's
there'll
no
be-
home and
there'll be
away
penalty,
advantage.
yeah.
Yeah. So if I'd argue they play extra time, then you go to penalties. So,
Well,
so I think the winner comes from Barca Inter.
that's you.
Yeah, you going with PSG. Let's
Going
see.
PSG straight to the finals.
I'm a bit disappointed with the PSG not
Going-
getting the invincible season after going this far. They're going to play what, 34 matches.
think they're more focused on the
You reach
Champions League.
29 matches, you're probably like 5
Yeah, but how
matches.
are you not focusing on a football match? You just go on
Because
the
they
field
already,
and
they
play.
already,
And they
know,
lose
they
at
already
home.
won the league.
But you lose
So-
at
Yeah,
home.
but you
It's
still
like
have to
for
play.
them,
You have the
they-
ball. You have
they're
11
for
men.
something. Yeah.
You have 11 men. You have the ball. You have the crowd.
Maybe they think that
But even
benching
so,
a few of the players, they
Why
could
not
have-
lose the round before?
Yeah.
Why not? Yes, at this point in time.
Why lose
the
now when
30th
you
match
can
out
kiss
of
greatness?
34 Yeah, you're that close to the finish line. The 30th match of the season, with 4 matches after that, playing at home.
Maybe they needed
To
to
you, and you
lose.
know the knee side is a.
Sometimes they
competence
need to
side.
lose, you know.
No, but I'm just saying, I don't know if that blunder will
Yes, sir. That's just a
matriculate or have an effect. Because one thing, winning is contagious, And,
Yeah.
And yeah, so if you're in form, keep that
so
form.
even if you look
Don't
at
blunder here. But you didn't lose at the 12th.
don't trash talk because you upset people.
but even if you
No
look at,
traffic.
you're gonna say that about PSG, but even if you look at Arsenal, they have been kicking stones since
but
the Real
Liverpool-
Madrid,
But Liverpool, them know Liverpool win the league. So Arsenal main focus is
but they
on
still have
Champions
something to play for.
League. What?
They can lose second place. You know.
No, the top three, no matter.
Oh man, they still have
Did,
to
did,
Champions
did
League.
the FA Cup semi-finals take place already?
one of them.
One of them, Aston Villa lost to Crystal Palace this morning.
So Villa out.
Villa out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the second leg is when? The second semi-final.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow, yeah.
I didn't get much
City
publicity
and
about it.
Liverpool.
I knew it was about time, but I didn't see much publicity about it.
Only the publicity. Yeah.
What? FA Cup?
if the top teams are not there, it's like
That's not
Yeah,
true.
if
That's not true.
If Manu is not there, that's what
That's
I'm
not
saying.
true.
The next one is between Forest and City tomorrow. Yeah, 10
Man
to-
City.
Yeah, Man City.
They're no big game now.
Yeah, and Forest.
Forest is
I mean, Man
First one
City,
play
Man
with some-
City don't have no metal, no silverware this year.
they need a silverware.
Right. So
And Arsenal need a silverware too.
is who did win? What the other cup name again? It's a
Carling
cup.
Carling Cup.
Yeah, some cup.
Teacup.
You have to win. some.
You have to win.
Newcastle.
A Man U in
What?
Europa League semi-final.
Yeah, Man U.
Your team.
Why? I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know
That's the
how.
next thing. I don't even know how.
You're
to
leading
come back.
2-0 the first leg, and you come back and let the team draw with it. Like second leg, the same thing. You're leading 2-0.
Come to us.
First half,
You go down 4-2 to 10
So
men.
Froggy, what's
then come
happening
back and
with
win 5-4.
what's happening with Mr. Bailey, Leon Bailey? Will he be playing any football this year?
for who?
That's what I'm asking.
Well, he played today, 40 minutes.
They played
30
him?
minutes. He came off the bench.
The match was lost already. Why,
Yeah,
why
match
they-
was
why they
lost.
bring-
Right? Match
Oh,
was
so
they
they
were
bring
down
on
2-0.
they bring on the Deadwood from the bench. No, I'm saying was the match a real match?
It was a real match. But at the end of the day, I don't know if he has been injured or something. but
he ran
has
for
not
40
been
minutes?
Playing. 30 minutes.
Oh,
30.
yeah, that's amazing.
He was playing for like 30 minutes. So this game is give him some game time. I
Sweat
guess.
out the gears.
Yeah.
Like a run.
But get a look around. Good to see him.
So you think it's calm what's happening with Craig Butler as well? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, man.
you tell me.
Yeah, man. Don't buy the hands that feed you. You can't turn the back on the country. You know?
I see.
You can't use the resources of the country and then turn and blame the country. You're taking from somebody that you're
Well,
blaming.
we're on the Craig Butler subject, or is that the Asaf
Both of them.
approach? Is that the Asaf
All
approach?
three of them go and feel it.
Say them are gonna feel it.
They gonna feel it. All three of them.
No, you being controversial. So hold on, let me get this straight while I'm here. You're saying Asaf are going to feel it
Go and
for
feel it,
turning
man.
back on the country.
Yeah.
And you're saying also that Craig Butler
Go and feel it too.
and
And Leon
good
feel
things
it.
come in trees. And
Leon
Leon
feeling
Bailey.
it already.
Yeah.
But-
the
but-
three
but-
controversial figures.
Three. But they feeling it because Craig came into the JPL, for those who don't know,
Yes.
I win the league in 2 to 3 seasons.
This is his first season?
First season.
Yeah, so give
And
him
all
the-
the touting up. He had the player. As a matter of fact, a lot of persons may not know it. Veer started out good. They were actually
Yes, I
in
know.
fifth place. You know?
I know.
And then by January, Craig is like, when the cavalry comes.
But just to Craig's defense, right?
There's no defense.
He said that he had to be using 14, 15, and 16-year-olds.
There's nothing to go so.
That's what the man
And-
said.
and even if
the man
he
said
said-
he was using junior players to
Even
play
if he
against
said
big
that
physical
at
men.
the start of the season, he had Veer players.
Yeah?
And he sent them away.
Yeah.
Sold them out and carrying for him Calvary. And thinking money could
So these
play
were
them ca-
academy players.
Yeah.
That was mostly. So
He said he's bigger than him. That's
He's
what I
bigger
said.
than him.
so you remove the Veer and just deal with the Phoenix. That's
yeah.
what it was.
And that's why the Carolina people were down there
can't
quarreling,
say
saying they
Carolina
don't recognize the
did it.
team
Him
anymore.
not using the
Not using the
I
homegrown
see,
players.
yeah.
So I say him carried on Lenny Hyde with him too.
Yeah.
The great Lenny
Well,
Hyde.
The great
Lenny
Lenny
Hyde.
Hyde. The
Go play-
untouchable
Just
teacher.
go play tier 2 next year. That don't look good.
So you're saying that this Premier League team bigger than
Bigger than
Butler.
Craig. And is that the first? Well, I know. It's not the first time.
Well, we know say the teacher of
No,
pros.
but
Then
it's not the first
So you said
time.
to Craig Butler draw
But
down.
it's not the first time. Them do it to Sporting Central Academy too.
Who did the coach put at the time?
The Craig.
No, so yeah.
When they bring them down,
So
regulate
you're
them.
saying
And not the first time.
you're saying that Craig Butler
He's
is
a
like a
known-
pariah.
Known.
He's
no
like
one draw down that.
It's not the first time. I don't know why people find it so shocking. It's not the first time. Around 3 teams he got
So
regulated.
the shocking
Humble
thing was
Lion
him
as well.
winning Manning Cup. That was shocking.
That was shocking.
Yeah, so the only title
That's the
time.
only.
you weren't very happy with that, you know. I noticed it.
With
He
the-
was-
with Mona
With,
winning.
with,
Mona
yeah, with
winning?
the Mona win.
Well, I mean, we're a KC fan, but
You would be happy.
Who Mona played in the final again? Hyder?
Hi there, yeah.
I mean, Mona could have won.
Yeah, but yeah, he's regulated down to tier 2 now, and the sad part about
Where he
it,
belongs?
where he should have started.
And build himself
And
up.
build himself up.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's
So he
bigger
wasn't
than
ready
it.
for the big,
No,
the big
man,
time.
he's
He
ready
got
for
coach
it.
G League before he got NBA.
And that's right. Jordan got an NBA. Go back at G League, and Brandon.
I say, him have to do the rounds.
Do the thing, man.
But
Do
he
the
got
right
big
way.
leagues and do whole heap of chirping.
And can't back it up.
But
Yeah,
the man is
but-
an international sports agent, you know. You do realize that.
Tell him that.
So he's not a coach, but he
He's
can
not a
find
coach.
players.
He can find the players and
Oh,
have an
okay.
eye for star players and players who look like they can make it.
Or
Leave the coach
develop
now.
plears. But
Leave the coach
coach a
now.
team.
Leave
He
it
can
out.
develop players.
So
Have
stick
skill
to
players.
stick to vision.
Stick to what you're good at.
Developing players.
Develop your players
But the
and send
coaching
them away.
and technical
Leave
part
that
of it.
alone to somebody else.
Because him Jordan,
That is
That bigger than
teacher-
you. That
Jar-
bigger than you.
Bigger than him. That your jar don't.
because the teacher can't coach Division 2 now.
Yeah, but
Second
wasn't the
division.
teacher? Hold on. You're absolving the teacher of all blame.
All blame.
Yeah, the teacher is a teacher.
All blame.
Teacher don't get no blame with this.
No, not the teacher fault. Students
Whoa.
don't want to learn.
The students
Wow.
Not the teacher fault.
Wow.
So you're saying Craig Butler should go and coach in the lower
Clean as a
divisions
whistle.
before
Clean it. There's
get a title
nothing.
in the lower divisions before you come to top league.
Yeah, work your way
Whereas you
up.
come to the top league and chirp.
And then, remember at the
So you know
start,
the Jerome with them
at the start of the season, I told you guys that Craig put a target on him head when him chirp off him mouth.
Yeah.
And I say I can win the league. There are players in the league right now who have never won the league. And you are come and say you can win the league in a 2 and 3 season.
Yeah, but it's only one season.
There's a rumor out there right now that players, teams said that they would have helped him, but they're not going to.
Hmm.
They would have make him stay up and give him a little 3 point. But they say because you talk too much, you're going to go down.
Match fixing.
I would say match fixing. Them just decide so you're not going to get my 3 points.
Yes.
If you are a little bit humble with it, then fine. But even I'm going to show you one of the games. My son controversial. Arne Gardens lost to Humble Iron 3-1 in a game down by Clarendon. And I was like, how Arne lose 3-1 to Humble Iron? But guess what? The coach of Humble Iron was a former Arne Gardens player. Humble Iron is fighting for regulation right now. So
Is Numberland Maypen?
Clarendon, yeah.
Yes.
Clarendon based team. The coach is a former Arne Gardens player, Alex Thomas.
Lenny had used to coach Umberland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Donovan Duki and others.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why would you lose 3-1 on it? But
So
saving grace.
you found something sinister in that.
yeah, from the first time I see me said lose 3-1 Humble Lion, and I looked down at the foot of the table and said, oh, you gave him a 3 point for kind of just
Avoid relegation.
yeah,
So Craig's relegation could have been avoided, but he had stepped on too many
too
toes.
many toes,
Too much chirping.
too much talk.
You know how do we chirp us? Is that how chirp them or we shut them up?
Shut them up, send him back down there. And the thing about it, the guys got regulated from JPL, and Craig was nowhere in the country. Craig
No, I
is in
saw
Europe.
him. He took responsibility for it. I saw him
From
in a
Europe.
video. Yes.
From Europe.
That's what the thing goes.
What do
Man
you
have
mean?
multiple roles.
The ship are going is supposed to die here with the ship.
No, sir. He's working on the next plan.
What, move the players out?
Yes.
That was the plan I told you guys. That Craig's intention is not to win the league, it's just to expose the
When we're
players.
going to have Mason Greenwood in the Jamaica side?
Listen, I don't want to talk about
I know,
it.
say, next we're going to talk about that because
It's coming up to.
him giving too much trouble on Marseille.
Are you serious?
Him
Yeah,
and the
man.
next Brazilian player,
Eh.
the next Brazilian player's name.
He's getting into
They
trouble
say the
already?
coach,
Yeah.
Coach and him
the
that
fans,
Yeah.
the president, they're saying that Mason Greenwood and the next Brazilian player giving trouble within the squad.
I never heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're going to talk about that. So next, remember, people remind me.
Oh.
We talk about
We
Mason
need to do
Greenwood
some
and
deep
that-
digging on the Mason
and
Greenwood
Mason Greenwood
case.
and Marseille.
Yes.
But I mean, he's scoring goals, but it seems like something is
Because
going
Leon
on.
is not seeing any top flight football, you know, so Leon might have a bench it
But
for
you
Jamaica.
ask a perfect question. When you going to see Mason Greenwood
Yeah.
in the colours?
It's almost a year and a half, no, maybe 2 years we've been hearing about Mason Greenwood.
Yeah. So the one just to mention the NBA draft, NFL draft.
Yes.
Quickly, it did go on. I think the talking point of the draft would have been Sanders not being picked. Number 1, number 2, or number 3. So I think they're in the 4th day of the draft, and his name is still on the board, waiting for a team to select him.
And why is that?
What's name again?
Hunter? No.
Hunter was selected by
Soon tell is Shador, not Shador.
Shakur,
Plays for
Colorado.
Jared, my boy team man.
Father.
Coach, yeah. Soon tell about. I don't really follow up drafts to tell you the truth that much. I want to see him start playing.
It's a big thing there because
it's more for media hype though. The NFL draft, the NBA draft, where Cooper Flag going, where.
To me, it's all about money. I don't really find it that interesting.
Yeah.
Who goes where? And,
but the thing is, a lot of persons are hyping up that he's not picked or selected yet. And I'm like, why the hype? Most teams would have selected quarterbacks from last year, and they are young. Most teams right now, they are looking to strengthen the weakening points of their teams. So if the quarterback is not needed right now, they are going to find what they need. And then down in the draft now, they pick their backups. And I'm sorry for him, but he's just a backup right now.
So he's not going to be a big team QB. That's what you're saying.
He doesn't have. Each team is looking for certain qualities of a quarterback.
Yeah, no.
And he's short on some qualities.
Oh, really?
So they are not selected. So 5 out of the draft so far, for the 120 odd players, there's only 5 quarterbacks got picked. 5. And he's not one of the 5. The best bet is that he will be going to the Steelers because they need a starting quarterback. Sanders does have the qualities of a starting quarterback, but they decide to go for players who are more weaker because they're still negotiating with Aaron Rodgers. And they have a second string quarterback as well.
He was selected in the 5th round today by Cleveland. He was drafted today.
See?
5th round by Cleveland. But I said, when you go to the league, I mean, look at Tom Brady. I drafted way down, 5th string, all of that. And got his chance, and then now we're talking about Tom Brady. So whoever comes in the league has to make their inroads in the league. We're going to have to, just in the NBA, look at Nikola Jokic. Getting picked 47th, I think, for way down.
And look
where he is now. 3-time MVP going for 4 and averaging a triple-double, all of that. So for me, when you come to the big leagues, that's when you step up and you're going to see players that weren't on the radar, players that was on the radar that fall off. But when you come to big leagues, you have to come with the goods.
And before we go, did you guys watch Barcelona Open, the finals? You saw,
Alcaraz out.
Alcaraz lost in the finals to
saw the score.
Rune or Rude. I'm always forgetting which one is which. Yeah, Rune is one from Denmark.
Yeah,
so he lost to him. It was an easy victory. I don't think I've ever seen Alcaraz play worse. And he's claiming that he looked like he have an injury. But, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember when Alcaraz was coming in. I said to you that his style is going to be injury prone. You remember that talk? And no, I don't think Alcaraz doing as much scampering as he used to do.
He challenged Inner Djokovic. Djokovic beat him in the Olympics. You watched that and he tried to challenge Inner Djokovic.
Okay, I never saw that. But what I noticed though is that Carlos was supposed to be the next thing in tennis. 2 years ago, you couldn't tell me that there was anybody else. And
come French Open, Sinner will be back. Sinner almost back. So we see what Sinner.
So what you say?
And Serena said, if that was me, I would not get that
chance. Yes. I know. There's a little unfairness to it.
Serena said I'd probably be out for 2 years.
Yes, but as you know, if it's one thing a sinner deserves, it's redemption. So there you go.
That's a good way to close the show. That's a good way. One thing a sinner needs is redemption.
For a quick 10 seconds, Diamond League was today. We saw where Daniel Williams won the 110 hurdles. Nicola Gould. Natalia Gould came 5th in the 1000. Sharika Jackson started our season quite well. She won the 300 last week. Now she's here. 22.79 in the 200. She came second place. But she coming around. She said that she just wanted to see where she is. Jordan Scott winning the triple jump. Wayne Pinnock coming 5th.
I've been hearing good things from the camp, so let's see what happens. She have to come out any minute now. Just one quick thing. Callers, we're going to be setting up back the phone lines for next week, so people will be able to call in, especially people in the US who weren't comfortable calling a Jamaican number, we'll be having a US number for you to call in next week.
Yeah,
So I know Kane likes to interact with the audience.
people
So.
like to take on the shrub. You know?
Yeah.
But, I mean, next week people will have a roundup of the Champions League first round, more NBA. I mean, we'll be looking for the second round as it should be wrapped up by then, or we might have a few games, so you never can tell. But so next week we'll have some NBA, talk some football, and Dale will be back. Should be back.
Give us some tennis, table tennis.
Talk about some table tennis next week again. So wrap up the show now.
Yes, so people, thanks again for being with us again. Fit FM 96.7, Facebook, YouTube, the World Wide Web, and our good friends down there in Trelawney. We'll be nothing without you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Keep safe, and I hope I see you guys at Carnival. The Primal will be out there.
Peace. Peace.